Hi, me again. It's been a while since my last video, 10 months. I finally made another one because there's finally been some changes. It's really taking quite a while. I've been on hormones now for well over a year. October 2017 is when I started. It's now December 2018. Changes have been slow. Over the first half year I had a lot of acne. Yay. Just what we wanted. Mainly on my chest and on my back and on my shoulders, sometimes in my face. Luckily after half a year it has declined. It's still there a bit, but not as heavy, not as painful and itchy and annoying, basically. So it's been going better. Another thing that has changed is body hair. I've gotten some more hair down my belly button, on my arms and legs. A friend of mine was actually petting my leg, commenting that it felt like a dog. Not quite sure how I feel about that. But it's a change that is happening, and my arm hair isn't very visible because I'm blonde, but it used to stop about here and now it's stopping here. So it's creeping onto my hand and it's just getting a bit more noticeable, just not on video. Another change is my voice, apparently. I find it quite hard to hear it myself because I'm confronted with it every single day. But I've heard from friends and family that it has definitely gone down since last time, which is fun, good to hear. I've started singing. I've had lessons for a few months now, and we did come to the conclusion that I get about 2 notes lower than women usually go. So that's encouraging. It hasn't really changed over the last 2 or 3 months, but it's something at last. I've been really looking forward to some kind of really noticeable change, and it's finally here. Now, over the course of this year I've been getting some questions, and quite a lot of these actually have to do with stereotypes, which is both annoying and amusing. I've been asked if I'm going to quit my sewing lessons, because apparently that's female stuff. Answer is no, by the way. I'm not going to give up my hobbies. I've been told I should keep my nails short, because that's not a masculine thing to do. Admittedly, I probably should be keeping them short, but I'm kind of lazy. So, but the main thing I've been getting has to do with this stuff. If I'm going to cut it, when I'm going to cut it. Admittedly, the points are a bit dead, so I'm going to have a haircut soonish. But it's not going to take much off the length. I just like it. So there's not gonna go. I've been breeding this stuff for 4 years, come on. Anyway, other questions are usually something to do with surgery. Are you going to get surgery? Now, usually when people ask this, they mean at that surgery. Well, that one isn't really an option for me at the moment. Maybe eventually I'll get my uterus removed, but that more has to do with my periods, because the monthly Satan's River is still there, always right on time, every single month, for over a year of testosterone. My body just it really wants children, and I don't. But so that is still up in the air what I'm going to do about that. Other than that, at the moment, no. But there is a surgery that I am going to do, and it's called the mastectomy, or the top surgery, or boob removal. So these two are gonna go. In fact, they're gonna go in 2 days. It's Tuesday right now, and on Thursday I'm going to go to the hospital and get them removed. Now, there are several ways this surgery can be done. The most ideal one would be the keyhole method, in which they make slight incisions next to the nipple suck them empty and sew them back up again. Pretty much. Pretty crudely told. But this is only an option when you have very small boobs, like an A cup. I don't have an A cup, so that's not an option for me, unfortunately. Now you've got a double incision. With this one they make an incision underneath the boobs, scoop everything out, pull it taut, take off the nipple, put it back where it should naturally be, and sew it back up again. Downside is that you've got quite a lot of scar tissue. I don't like scars. But you've got a middle way, which is, and I'm not kidding you, it's called the donut procedure, which sounds lovely, but is still a surgery. So what they do is they actually take a donut-shaped piece of skin away around the nipple, empty the damn thing, and sew it back up again. So they take this larger piece of skin, pull it towards the nipple. Downside is you can get some pleating. Because, well, take a drawstring bag, it goes from big to small. It's got to go somewhere. And there's a slightly larger risk that you might have to go in for a second try if there's some swelling underneath. That's just a slight risk. The positive side of it is that you don't really see the scar tissue because it's directly surrounding the nipple and there's already a color difference between the skin. So it's not really going to be very visible. This one is an option up to about a B cup and with relatively good skin elasticity. If you're anywhere above a B cup or have very poor skin elasticity, then the double incision is your only way to go. I could choose between the double incision and the donut procedure. My doctor was actually leaning towards the double incision, but after doing some research, asking some other trans men about what they did and listening to their stories, I decided to go with the donut procedure. Because I really don't like scar tissue, and well, I'm just gonna go for that. So I'm kind of nervous about that. It's in just 2 days and I'll have to recover for about 6 weeks, in which I can't really lift anything, not even my laptop, that's too heavy. So I'm just pretty much preparing everything so that I don't have to lift stuff. I've been hoarding drinks so I don't have to get those from the stores anymore. I've got a friend that will come over from time to time to do some hoovering or vacuum cleaning, depending from where you are. But the first 1-2 weeks I'll be staying with my mother and stepfather so that I can recover properly without really having to do anything. Which sounds pretty good to me. Hotel mama. But that's the plan, basically. That's pretty much it. Yeah, I guess. Otherwise, there's probably just going to be a next video. Who knows, maybe 10 months down the line. Hopefully faster, because usually... Now, I'm planning to make these videos when I actually experience a change. And of course, in 2 days there will be quite a change, because these will be gone. But I'm looking for a bit more. Hopefully. We'll see. You know, I'm not very keen on making these things, but I promised, so here it is. So, just like last time, I'm going to be reading a bit from Hansel and Gretel. Because there's no rights for those. It's free. And hopefully, eventually manage to complete the story, eventually, in a year or 10. I don't know. I'm gonna take the last sentence of last time and just go from there. But I feel very sorry for the poor children all the same, said the man. The two children had also not been able to sleep for hunger, and had heard what their stepmother had said to their father. Gretel wept bitter tears and said to Hansel, "Now all is over with us." "Be quiet, Gretel," said Hansel. "Do not distress thyself. I will soon find a way to help us." And when the old folks had fallen asleep, he got up, put on his little coat, opened the door below, and crept outside. The moon shone brightly, and the white pebbles which lay in front of the house glittered like real silver pennies. Hansel stooped and put as many of them in the little pocket of his coat as he could possibly get in. Then he went back and said to Gretel, "Be comforted, dear little sister, and sleep in peace. God will not forsake us." And he lay down again in his bed. When day dawned, but before the sun had risen, the woman came and awoke the two children, saying, "Get up, you sluggards! We are going into the forest to fetch wood." She gave each a little piece of bread and said, "There's something for your dinner, but do not eat it up before then, for you will get nothing else." Gretel took the bread upon her apron, as Hansel had the stones in his pocket. Then they all set out together on the way to the forest. When they had walked a short time, Hansel stood still and peeped back at the house, and did so again and again. His father said, "Hansel, what art thou looking at there and staying behind for? Mind what thou art about, and do not forget how to use thy legs." "Ah, father," said Hansel, "I'm looking at my white little cat, which is sitting up on the roof and wants to say goodbye to me." The wife said, "Fool, that is not thy little cat. That is the morning sun which is shining on the chimneys." Hansel, however, had not been looking back at the cat, but had been constantly throwing one of the white pebble stones out of his pocket on the road. Now I'm really hoping that if I'm putting those two together, it really will sound different. I must admit, by the way, with my voice, I have actually been training with it with a speech therapist, because it's not just high and low that creates a male or female sound. It has to do with the melody in your voice. Women tend to have more melody in their voice. Men tend to be more monotonous, a bit more boring. The speed at which they talk, women tend to talk faster. I haven't really gotten that one down. I like to talk, I guess. So I've given up on that one. And another one which I really didn't realize before starting all this is the end of a sentence. Women tend to go up at the end of a sentence, as if everything is a question, while men tend to go down. That took some practicing, like about half a year. So, but, you know, the speech therapy really did work, and I'm really glad I did that, even before I started hormones. People actually asked me if I had already started hormones because I sounded differently. So it works. It definitely works. I'm just really hoping that it helps me with my voice actually going down. It will just sound better, quicker. So hopefully next video it will be even lower. We'll see. See you next time.